Okay, we've got an interview with a man, Patrick Cullinane, today, who's protesting us outside the Royal Court of Injustice, which is its new title. How are you doing, Patrick?
Not good at all.
Okay, so tell us why you started these protests outside the courts.
They're not obviously not going to arrest the judge. I started my protest outside the Royal Courts of Injustice because I experienced injustice in these courts from 13 High Court judges. The Inland Revenue, when I was working in the film industry, made fraudulent assessments on me. I was on PAYE. They had me on an emergency tax code. I had paid more tax than I actually should have done. I was looking for a rebate when they made fraudulent assessments on me for over £250,000. It was lunacy. They kept at me for years. They owed me about £1,500 from 1982. I couldn't get the rebate. I still haven't got it today.
How long has this been going on?
This has been going on now for over 30 years.
Wow, 3 decades.
Over 30 years. They've targeted me from the time I came from Ireland. I'm an immigrant Irishman, and they targeted me from the time I came into this country.
And can you describe some of the things they've done to you?
Well, as I say, we were all working in the film industry, and they had me on emergency tax code. I was working for Warner Brothers, and he couldn't settle my tax code. He had settled everyone else's tax code, but he couldn't settle mine. I went in and seen him a few times, and the last time I seen him, he said, "Mr. Cullinane," he said, "your problem," he said, "with the Inland Revenue," he said, "is more than a tax problem."
What did he mean by that?
He said that he couldn't settle my tax, and it was more than a tax problem. I knew at that stage it was more than a tax problem, that they had targeted me.
Okay, so he was inadvertently telling you that you had been targeted.
Exactly. He was an American accountant at the time for Warner Brothers. I was working for Warner Brothers in Pinewood Studios.
Okay. And do you think that the industry of the film industry were involved in your case inadvertently as well? Had you been targeted by the industry itself, individuals in the industry?
I cannot actually say that. I wouldn't have any evidence to actually say that. But I certainly knew that the Inland Revenue came after me, and they were out to destroy me.
Okay.
And they've done that.
Okay, and so what's happened to you in the time that you got targeted?
In the time that I got targeted, I was about to get engaged, get married, have a family, but I knew I just couldn't. I just say to the girl that I can't make any commitments that the Inland Revenue are after me all the time, and she knew that I was targeted as well. She knew that I paid my tax. But I couldn't do nothing whatsoever. I went to my MPs. I went to Sir Rhodes Bison, way back when he was in Brent. Sir Rhodes Bison. He was protected by the police, but I didn't know. Now I know why he was protected by the police, because he was a criminal. He done nothing for me.
So would you say that these judges that are involved in mafia-scale corruption are being protected in the UK?
Certainly they're being protected. I reported the crimes to the police, and they done nothing. I actually went to the police with Charlie 7. I accompanied her to the police. And I said, "You report crimes to the police." Even though a lot of people say that they'll do nothing. I knew that was correct, because I had experienced it. But I said, "We'll report it anyway, we'll get it on record." But the police would not put my case on record or they would not put your case on record or several other cases that I visit Charing Cross.
So why do you think that is? What's the
Because
reason
they're
for it?
protected. There's a massive conspiracy against the people. And once they throw it into a conspiracy, you are not going to get justice. They will target you in every way. The police will be knocking on your door at home. The council will be attacking you. You'll get parking tickets that the local council are issuing warrants to bailiffs to attack you. I've had this on several occasions. It has happened to my clients. The same thing. They say that there's a county court in Northampton. There is no county court in Northampton. There is no hearings in Northampton. All the local councils are issuing warrants to bailiffs, but it's all part of the bigger case to be able to harass you. They've put all of this into a package. And if they target you, you've got no chance whatsoever. And if you don't have the media behind you, they will murder you.
So what do you think is the solution?
The solution is to restore the rule of law in the courts. Magna Carta 1215 guarantees us rights to common law, trial by jury, trial by our peers, not trial by a judge. Trial by jury is democracy. Trial by judge is tyranny. And they are all conspiring. 13 judges were involved in my case. Judge Pumphrey was in your case as well. He was in my case. Apparently he's dead now. You've had Tony Farrell, who was asked to doctor the Middlesbrough reports. He wouldn't do it.
And 7/7 as well.
And the 7/7.
The London bombings in 2005.
And now he has met Charlie 7. He has looked at her evidence and he's produced the Farrell report for Charlie 7. It can be seen on YouTube.
Yeah, www.thefarrellreport.net if anyone wants to look at it.
When you open that and you see a police officer that has come on the side of justice, and this hopefully will happen more and more as we go along.
Yeah, we need good police officers to take the side of the people and actually start action,
Take the instructions from the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not from higher up the ladder. They are public servants. They are not the law. The people are the law. Magna Carta 1215, trial by jury. That is the case law. Corrupt judges now are making case law. And they're calling it the law of the land. Their law, so that they can rob the people. And there is no remedies.
Yeah, but do you find that the percentage of cases in the UK are alarming? I mean, what's your opinion about how many cases?
Well, I know thousands of cases. There's one here, George Westcott. He was a farmer at one stage. He was poisoned by OP. Now he cannot get justice. He's been affected. He cannot write emails because it affects his nervous system. But he cannot get justice. There is no justice in the courts.
So do you think we need reforms? We need to pull these courts down and start afresh and reintroduce the Magna Carta?
We've got to restore Magna Carta in these courts and arrest the judges and put them into jail where they belong. Anyone that breaks the law should be in jail. If you break the law, they'll send the police after you. The police should be going after the judges that are breaking the law. The people have got to be protected. I am lucky the Guardian newspaper have protected me. My case appeared in the front page of the Guardian, the second page of the Guardian, and the third page of the Guardian.
How can people find that?
This is happening to people that they've got no access to the internet. They haven't got money to make a phone call. And they're going into unmarked graves. There is genocide going on in this country right now. The English indigenous people are being genocided. I have witnessed it myself. They created a false flag war in Ireland, which is known as the Dirty War. The IRA was a false flag. It was a false flag. So is the Iraqi war. And it's all coming round by the Israeli lobby. They have infiltrated Parliament, they have infiltrated the judicial system, and they're robbing us. And if you try and stand up, they will murder you. And that is what's happening here in good old Britain. But the Englishman is not in control of his own country, but he's getting blamed for all the crimes that the Israeli lobby. Look at these judges behind us. Lord Neuenberger was involved in my case. There was no evidence against me whatsoever. The Inland Revenue owed me a tax rebate. No evidence whatsoever.
Okay. So basically, if anybody wants to contact you, how can they keep in touch with you? You have a Twitter site.
Well, I've got my email here on the banner.
Yes.
And I got my Twitter here, which just in a year I got over 16,000 followers on Twitter. But there are so many people affected, I cannot do all the work.
So would you say people have to come forward and participate in the demonstrations, in the protests?
They're scared.
Yeah, but do you say that they should come forward?
They should, of course, come forward.
Yeah.
But they're going to be killed anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So they might as well die in public
Yeah.
than to be killed behind the scenes.
Yes.
I don't want publicity.
Yes.
I'm not a publicity speaker or seeker.
Yeah.
But I've got to take it.
Yes.
And I knew it. I've got it. If I didn't get my day in court, I knew I had to get it outside of court and tell the people what's going on before they murdered me.
So
look at what they've done to David Kelly. David Kelly, he would not be murdered today if he had said there was a threat in his life. Of course there was a threat in his life. And it was all that the Israeli lobby.
Yeah.
They wanted a war in Iraq. They pulled all the strings for a war in Iraq.
So what's the percentage, would you say? I spoke to Tim Fleming, who you work with. What's the percentage of cases in the UK that are corrupt in 100? Would you say it's like 70, above 70, 80, 90%? What would you say?
You have got 95%.
95%?
95%, and the other 5% is being stage managed to say there is justice in the court. But they are only small cases.
Yeah.
They will be the small cases. They will not be the big case.
So you spoke about the children being stolen as cash cows in good families, from very genuine families, for bonuses. I mean, I've read a lot of information about it, but this apparently is going on in the UK widespread. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, this is all organised crime, and it's all revenue and cash.
Yeah, you said you spoke to a young lady.
I spoke to a young girl coming in here today, and she had lost her child. She's crying. I spoke to her for a while. She seemed normal to me. Nothing wrong with her. But she wanted her child back. I told her to contact me with a complaint, and I will highlight the case for her. That's all I can do. But we're in a corrupt country. There is no courts of law in this country. You go into the magistrate court if you want to start a criminal case. There is no transcripts on that court. A recordless court is not a court of law.
It's not
So the
transparent.
magistrates are presiding over kangaroo courts. You cannot get a transcript. So they can do what they like to you. An appeal lays to the Crown Court. If you don't have a record what went on to the magistrates' court, how can you appeal? It's a catch-22 situation. It's all